Just some questions about sleep. Have you had any complaints about restless sleep from people with on a low-carb diet, or have you seen sleep improve?
Undoubtedly, sleep gets better. It's the patient experience I have. People come in, they say they feel energised, they're sleeping. Now, maybe that's because I give them a strict bedtime as well, and I give people strict advice about going to bed.
What's the strict bedtime?
So the strict bedtime is you need to go to bed at the same time every night. So a couple of simple things. You can't control the time you wake up. Let's assume that most adults need 8 hours of sleep, and if you think that you're getting away with 6, you're kidding yourself. You'd be, it's very, very rare. So if you wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, your bedtime is 10 o'clock. You can only control the bedtime because, as you know, the body clock wakes up. Now, if you are going to bed at 9 o'clock one night and midnight another night, that state of disequilibrium is like jet lag. It's like flying to Hong Kong. So, and you can't expect that your body clock can adapt to that. The circadian rhythms are kept on a pretty tight cycle. So first of all, you need at least 8 hours sleep. You need to be having a regular bedtime, and there's several other things to facilitate that. And the benefits of that are that your leptin and ghrelin levels will be more normal. Leptin's a hormone that helps you feel full. Guess what happens when you're sleep deprived? Ghrelin's a hormone that makes you feel hungry. Guess what happens when you're sleep deprived? And your willpower keeps you sticking to the diet when you really want that piece of chocolate, but you're going to resist it. You're going to resist sweet urges. What happens to willpower when you're hungry? So it's sort of like insulin on a fat cell, what we call the triple whammy. So sleep is good for that effect. And a lot of people come in, they don't realise it, but I actually run a sleep apnea screening questionnaire on every patient who comes in the door. If you come into my clinic, there's going to be a comprehensive medical questionnaire. And probably I estimate about a third of my patients are undiagnosed sleep apneics. And as soon as you lose the fat around the throat here, that's compressing the airway and allowing it to occlude, you sleep so much better. And the problem with sleep apnea is that you don't know you have it because you're waking up, but it's waking up to the subconscious. It's kicking you out of that deep, restful sleep. As we know, we cycle through REM and non-REM sleep, but you're not consciously aware of those wakenings. And people come back, they lose 10, 15 kilograms, they no longer have sleep apnea, and they can't believe how good they feel.
For the people that are just coming into transition where they're maybe fat adapting, so to speak, and they keep waking up, got a little bit of information about that.
So this happened to me as well. I got very hot when I first went into ketosis because my body was producing more heat through that pathway that we went through. And I found that I was going from having a doona just to having a sheet on me at night time, and I wasn't feeling cold anymore. In winter I was just in a t-shirt kind of thing rather than having a thick jumper. So for me personally that made a very big difference. It's become less so with time, but I'm still more cold tolerant than what I used to be. My sleep, I sleep less. Paul says everyone has to get 8 hours sleep. I very rarely get more than 6 or 7 hours. If I've been asleep for 8 hours, I wake up with a sore back because I've been lying down for so long. So it's a bit different for different people. But certainly when I sleep and when I wake up much brighter than I feel foggy sometimes after having had carbohydrates. So I'm less strict with the sleep than what Paul is, just because it doesn't fit my lifestyle. There's no way I can get that much sleep on a controlled basis when I'm on call and taking phone calls from the hospital at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning and then having to go back to sleep. But having had disturbed sleep, I'm better in the morning when I'm ketogenic than when I'm not.
So say if you're waking up feeling hungry, like you go to sleep for so many hours and then you wake up feeling hungry. Any ideas on that one? Because I know that's a common.
Well, if you're in ketosis,
Just advices.
Yeah, no. But if you're in ketosis, the ketone bodies generally suppress your hunger. But you also need to understand what's real hunger. Like my comment beforehand, you're driving along, you feel a little bit of an urge to go to the toilet. You don't pull over on the highway with other trucks driving past you. You wait a little bit longer. You wake up a little bit hungry. That's okay. Go back to sleep. You'll have breakfast in the morning.
But nocturnal hunger is actually a fairly common observation of my patients after cheat meals, after alcohol. So I wonder if this is happening on a Friday night after you have a nice Friday night session at the local pub or something like that. But that's something that my patients will communicate to me frequently.